Hello everyone, welcome back to the English class. In this session, we are going to talk about a very important tense called simple past or past simple. As the definition says, it is definitely a very simple tense. So, I'll also make this tense very simple for you. As the meaning says, as the name of the sentence, as the name of the tense denotes, simple past tense is talking about an action which is completed in the past. Okay, so when you talk about simple past, which means the action is completed in the past. Okay, the action is completed in the past. Now the action is no more in progress. Simple past is used when you're talking about an action which is completed in the past. The action is not at all in progress anymore. For example, 5 days ago, or 3 days ago, or 6 months ago, or 1 year ago, or 5 years. So you are talking about an action which is perfectly over, which is completed in the past. This is the timing of the tense. This is the situation in the tense. This is the timing, this is the situation. Now, we have to also understand the grammar of simple past. The grammar also is very simple. See how simple the grammar is. Subject plus object. However, the verb is always in the second form. Beware of the verb. The verb is always in the second form. The verb is always in the second form. See, for example, he ran away. If you observe this sentence closely, after the subject, the verb is in the past tense, that is ran, which is nothing but the second form of the verb. So he ran away. When you say he ran away, it means run past tense is ran. So he ran away is completely in the past tense, correct? That's all. Now, sir, do we have anything else important in this tense? Yes. There are a lot of things that we have to know. But before we go ahead, first of all understand when we use this simple past. My dear friends, simple past tense is used to describe an action where the action is completed in the past. So far, everything is clear. And also the subject, verb, object. The verb is always in the second form. Whenever you talk about simple past, the verb is always in the second form, which is also equally important. But here, the game is not over. Still, there is something else to learn. But before we learn, I'll give you a very simple example. I'll give you a very simple example. I wrote the exam. I wrote the exam means, if you observe here, wrote is in the second form of the verb. Wrote is the second form of the verb write. So, I wrote the exam, which means I wrote the exam yesterday, or I wrote the exam this morning, I wrote the exam last week or last month. Okay, I'll give you now one more example with the subject Anil. Imagine Anil is the name of a person, the name of a boy, and now the example says Anil came late to the class. The example says Anil came late to the class. Here, if you take the subject Anil and the verb is in the came, which means the verb is here in the second form, correct? So, Anil came late, which means the action is already completed. Anil already came, but unfortunately he came late. And now, if you take another example, I am talking to my friend who gave me some money. Now I say, you gave me money. You gave me money. If you see this example also, gave is here the second form of the verb give, correct? Gave here is the second form of the give. If you see these three examples, example number 1, I wrote the exam. Example number 2, Anil came late. And example number 3, you gave me money. And also, I'll give you now one more example. And the example is with the boy, Tom. The example is with the boy, Tom. And I say, Tom threw the stones. The example is, Tom threw the stones. The example is, Tom threw the stones. If you take this example, threw is past tense, past simple. My dear friends, I have given you 4 examples in the simple past tense or the past simple tense, which is tense number 5. But there is something common in all these 4 examples. Did you notice that? Yes. Wrote is the second form of write. Came is the second form of come. Give is the second form. Gave is the second form of give. Threw is the second form of throw. This is the beauty in all these 4 tenses, in all these 4 examples. So we are here talking about the tense called simple past, or also called past simple, where I wrote the exam, Anil came late, you gave me money, Tom threw the stones. How beautiful, how interesting the 4 examples are. However, now let us try to change these positive statements into negative statements, and also positive and negative questions. As you know, in our earlier videos as well, in our earlier sessions as well, I always kept saying this. Every statement would have 4 forms. We call them forms of statements. Positive statement, negative statement, positive question, and negative question. So let me now take one by one the statements here. Let me take the first example. I wrote the exam. My dear friends, positive statement is I wrote the exam, correct? Positive statement is I wrote the exam. Positive statement is I wrote the exam. Now can you tell me the negative statement of this? Now negative means not. Now what do you say? I wrote the exam yesterday is a positive statement. Now if I want the statement to be in negative form, what do? I have to add not. But can I say I not wrote the exam? No, wrong. Because not always is used for helping verbs only. Not is always used for helping verbs only. So now what do is I am talking about past tense. My dear friends, past tense means always remember we use did. Past tense means always remember we use did. So I wrote the exam, past tense is I did not write the exam. I did not write the exam. So I wrote the exam, past tense is I did not write the exam. I did not write the exam. Now if I want to ask a question, the question is now what do? Always remember, whenever I am asking a question, helping verb comes first. So here the helping verb is did. So did comes first, I goes next. So did I write the exam? Did I write the exam? See here, I wrote the exam. I didn't write the exam. Did I write the exam? Now I want to change the question into negative question. What happens is didn't. So now what happens is didn't I write the exam? Did you notice the difference here, my dear friends? I wrote the exam. I didn't write the exam. Did I write the exam? Didn't I write the exam? How interesting, how easy, and how important this is. Correct? I am repeating all the 4 statements, all the 4 forms of the statements. I wrote the exam yesterday. This action is completed in the past. I didn't write the exam yesterday. This is also past tense, but I am talking about a sentence in negative. Now I am asking a question about past simple. Did I write the exam? Which means I am not very sure. Probably I wrote the exam and I have forgotten that, or probably I was confused. Okay, so did I write the exam? Now negative question is didn't I write the exam? Didn't I write the exam? See, I wrote the exam. I didn't write the exam. Did I write the exam? Didn't I write the exam? How beautiful this is, how interesting this is, and how important this is. Now my dear friends, this is okay that we have changed one positive statement into 4 different forms. But did you notice something very important? Did you notice something very strange here? Yes. If you see the verbal forms are completely getting changed. How they are changed? If you see the positive statement, here, the positive statement is wrote, where the verb is in the second form, V2. But if you observe here the verb is in the first form, here the verb is in the first form, and here the verb is in the first form. Don't you think this is interesting? Don't you think this is important? Yes, of course. I wrote the exam is a positive statement. I didn't write the exam, negative statement. Did I write the exam? Positive question. Didn't I write the exam? Negative question. Which means only when you're talking about a positive statement, the verb is in the second form. The verb is in the second form. In no other expression, in no other expression, we use the format like this. In no other expression, we use the format like this. In all other expression, the verb is always in the first form. From which you have to understand that. Always remember, when did comes in a statement or question, whenever you find did, when did comes in a statement or a question, when did comes in a statement or a question, the verb is always in the first form. When did comes in a statement or a question, the verb is always in the first form. Hope the point is clear. So that is the reason why, if you notice here, in all other formats, the verb is in the first form, except the positive statement, where the verb is in the second form. Now, having done with this question number 1, let us try the second question as well. Anil came late. Are you ready, my dear friends? Yes. Let us start with the positive statement where Anil came late. Now, Anil came late is the positive statement. Now, can we have the negative statement for this? Yes. Now I am talking about the boy, Anil, which means I should go for the negative expression. Anil didn't come late. See how beautiful this is? Anil came late, and now Anil didn't come late. Now, I want to ask a positive question. How do I say that? I'm asking a question like this. Did Anil come late? Because I'm not very sure, I'm asking a question. Did Anil come late? Now I want to ask a negative question, which is like this. Didn't Anil come late? Didn't Anil come late? So if you see these 4 expressions, positive statement, positive question, and negative question. See, Anil came late. Anil didn't come late. Did Anil come late? Didn't Anil come late? Now again, like I have mentioned just a while ago, my dear friends, this is something very interesting. Anil came late is a positive statement. Here, the verb is in the second form. Anil didn't come late. Here, come again, which is in the first form. Here also, did Anil come late? Come is the first form. Didn't Anil come late? Again, come is the first form. So, Anil came late. Anil didn't come late. Did Anil come late? Didn't Anil come late? How beautiful and how easy and how interesting this concept is. Chalo, let's also try the third example which I have written here, that is the you gave me money. You can ask me, sir, why should we practice the forms like this? Yes, whenever you learn tenses, you must always develop this habit of changing the statements into all the 4 forms. Okay, now can you try? Why don't you try this? Why don't you pause the video and try your answers? Okay. Positive statement is, you gave me money. There is no doubt about it. You gave me money is a positive statement. Now negative statement is, you didn't give money. Negative statement is, you didn't give money. You didn't give money is a negative statement, correct? See, you gave me money is a positive statement. Now negative statement is, you didn't give money is a negative statement. Now I want to ask a question. What question can I ask? Did you give money? What question can I ask? Did you give money? Now I want to ask a negative question. What happens is, didn't you give money? See, negative question is, didn't you give money? So like this, if you notice again and again, I am saying this because it's very important and it's worth repeating. Here also, if you notice something very interesting here, only in the first form, that is a positive statement, I have used the verb in the second form. Here, verb is in the first form. Here, verb is in the first form. Here, verb is in the first form. Because here, did is present. Here, did is present. Here, did is present. So, you gave me money yesterday. You didn't give me money yesterday. Did you give me money yesterday? Didn't you give me money? Didn't you give me money yesterday? And now we have also one more example left. That is the example number 4. Tom threw the stones. What is that? Tom threw past tense, right? Tom threw the stones. This is the example. Tom threw the stones, correct? Tom threw the stones is the example. If you notice here, What is a negative statement, my dear friends? I want to add not. Here I also must add something like this. You need not compulsorily combine did and not every time. It is not a compulsory thing. It's a choice. If you want to separately write them, you can separately write them. If you want to write them together, you can write them together. Everything is based on your interest, but nothing is compulsory. Because did plus not, did not. Did plus not, did not. Okay. So Tom threw the stones. Now Tom did not throw the stones. Tom did not throw the stones. Tom did not throw the stones. Now I want to ask a question which is a positive question. Now if I want to ask a positive question, what happens is, did Tom throw the stones? See, I want to ask a positive question where did Tom throw the stones? Did Tom throw the stones? Now I want to ask a negative question where what happens is, didn't Tom throw the stones? Didn't Tom throw the stones? In the fourth expression also, you can separate didn't like this. For example, didn't Tom throw the stones, or did Tom not throw the stones? Did Tom not throw the stones? Both are 100% right. Both are 100% okay. There is no debate about it. There is no problem with that. But if you again notice here through. Through is already in the second form, past tense. But here, if you observe, it is in the first form, that is V1 through. Here also, it is first form V1 through. Here also, it is the first form V1 through. The reason is, when did comes in a statement, V1 comes. When did comes in a statement, V1 comes. When did comes in a statement, V1 comes. I hope the point is clear. So Tom threw the stones. Tom didn't throw the stones. Did Tom throw the stones? Didn't Tom throw the stones? I hope the point is very clear. So now that we have understood what is this past simple, tense number 5, what is this past simple? Let me recap for 30 seconds. Past simple is the action is completed in the past. That is, action is over. There is nothing to do about it, and now there is even no impact of this action which is completed in the past. This is point number 1. Past simple is an action which is completed in the past. However, the grammar is also very interesting. Subject comes, V2 comes, object comes. Correct? Subject comes, V2 comes, object comes. Subject comes, V2 comes, object comes. But always remember, whenever you want to add a helping verb, which means helping verb is used when a statement is negative, or helping verb is used when you're asking a question. In such cases, did plus V1 is what exactly happens. So now V2 becomes did plus V1. See the difference? V2 becomes did plus V1. V2 becomes did plus V1, which naturally happens here. So V2 becomes did plus V1. Subject plus V2 plus object, which means subject plus did plus V1 plus object. Subject plus did plus V1 plus object, which is fundamentally a very important point here. So in a positive statement, directly you can use V2. But when the statement is negative, or when the statement is in a question form, did plus V1. And more importantly, when you're asking a question, you can start with did. And remember, I always say this. Did plus not, you can keep them separately, or if you're not comfortable with that, you can combine it as well. Didn't. The pronunciation is also didn't. My dear friends, this is something about a very, very, very important tense, that is tense number 5 called simple past or past simple. Past simple is used to talk about an action which is completed in the past. I have tried my best to tell you the concept very easily and very clearly, and also I have tried to give you a lot of examples, not only examples in positive statement, but also examples in all other formats like positive statement, negative statement, positive question, and also negative question. I hope past simple or simple past, the tense number 5, is clear to all of you. In this session, we have discussed tense number 5, past simple. We will talk about another important tense in our next session. Wish you good luck and all the best.